I really want this vlog to be fun and festive. I'm hoping to go to a Christmas market this weekend. The plot for that is very similar to the book that I'm currently reading. I feel like I have been very generous recently with giving out 5-star ratings. Welcome to a new reading vlog, everyone. It is currently Monday and I am ill, as you can possibly hear in my voice. I have a cold, so I'm feeling very sorry for myself. However, I am in a real reading mood right now. November hasn't been the best reading month. However, I am excited to read all of the Christmas romances because if I don't read them now, then I'm not going to read them for another year. So I thought I would talk through my potential TBR for the next week or so. The first book that I am thinking about picking up is The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling because I was sent this by the publisher and it's quite a short book. I feel like it would be quite a quick read. The only thing is this is the third book in a series and they are written as standalone, so it doesn't matter if you read them out of order. I did read the first book in this series, The Hex, a few years ago, and I can remember enjoying it. However, I haven't read the second book yet, so I don't know whether to wait to read this, but it is so short. I feel like it would be a fun witchy time, and I also really like the cover of this one, so that is a potential for this week. I would also like to pick up Ashley Herring Blake's newest release, which I think is called Make the Season Bright. I haven't heard many people talking about this one yet. I've seen people adding it to their TBRs, but I haven't heard many people reviewing it yet. But I did really enjoy the Brightfall series by Ashley Herring Blake, so this is another potential. And then another book that I have on my end of year TBR is Alison Cochrane's Christmas romance. I can't remember the name of it right now. I always get it confused with the Lizzie Huxley Jones book. Kiss Her Once for Me, I think, is the name of it. I will put a picture on the screen just so you can see. But yeah, those are the 3 books that I'm debating picking up in the next few weeks. But I really want this vlog to be fun and festive. I'm hoping to go to a Christmas market this weekend. However, obviously, if I'm still ill, then I'm not going to go. Hopefully it will pass in the next few days and then we can have a fun and festive time. I'm really excited to just chill and read romance for the next few weeks because my brain has been busy the last few weeks. I've been really struggling to concentrate on reading, so my November wrap up is going to be a mess if I ever actually get around to filming it. I also haven't bothered to do an official December TBR because my voice is croaky and I haven't been in the mood to film the last couple of days. So yeah, enough rambling. Let's get into the vlog and I hope you enjoy.
Everybody knows Christmas is coming. Thank one and all. Time to hang your stockings, baby, and have yourself a ball. People all over this big world, they're getting ready to play. Kissing under the mistletoe and rocking the night away. So let's dance, baby.
So I could pretend that it hasn't been a week since I filmed the intro to this vlog, but that would be a lie. It's now Monday again and I'm feeling loads better. I feel like my voice is a little bit croaky this morning, but that could be because I've just woken up and it's currently 8:30. But yeah, I am feeling loads better. I just didn't end up wanting to be on camera last week. I tried to film on a few occasions and thought, why am I doing this? No one is going to want to listen to me when I sound like this. So we are starting afresh. However, I'm going to leave in the old intro just because I don't see the point in refilming it. I did make it to the Christmas market, which was great, and I also went to see Wicked with my mum last night and that was incredible. I didn't realise it was only a part 1. I don't know how I missed that, but it got to, well, the opening credits where it said part 1 and I thought, oh, okay, there's probably going to be a second movie, which is fine. I feel like that's the best way to do the story justice. I love Wicked. It's one of my favourite theatre shows. I've seen it twice. I saw it for the first time about 10 years ago and then I saw it again 2 years ago. I have also read the book, but I read it when I was like 17. I was visiting my dad in America and I didn't have a Kindle at the time, so I'd ran out of books to read and I started raiding his shelves and he had a copy. So I think I read the original Wicked and then I also tried to read the sequel, but I couldn't get into that. But yeah, it's been a long time since I read the book and watching the film has made me want to reread it. So maybe I will try and track down the audiobook and listen to it because I read it physically the first first time. What else have I done this week? I've watched a couple of Christmas movies. So I watched Hot Frosty, which was kind of ridiculous, but it was fun. I wouldn't rewatch it, but it was a good time, like at the time when I was feeling really, really rubbish. I also watched the new Lindsay Lohan movie, which has Ezra from Pretty Little Liars in. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. I do like Lindsay Lohan movies, especially like the last few years. She's done quite a few Christmas movies. Ironically, the plot for her recent film, which I believe is called Our Little Secret, the plot for that is very similar to the book that I'm currently reading. So I started listening to the audiobook for Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring-Blake, which has been going okay so far. I think I'm only about 20 to 30% of the way through. This is about two exes who end up having to spend Christmas together. So they were childhood best friends and then they got engaged. However, one of them called off the wedding and they haven't spoken for like 5 years. They now lead completely separate lives. So one of them lives in Nashville and one of them lives in New York, and they have like new friendship groups who don't know about the other person, and yeah, they end up through these friendship groups having to spend Christmas together. I feel like I'm not doing the best job of explaining it, but yeah, it's going okay so far. It is giving me festive vibes, which is what I want when I read a holiday romance, so I will continue to listen to that throughout this week. I feel like this is going to be another busy week at work, which is another reason why I didn't really update the vlog last week. I feel like the next few weeks are going to be busy, but hopefully I will still get plenty of reading done. I have been reading physically as well, so I read The Delegate Dream Department Store by Mi Lee, I believe is the author. I read that last week. It's only a short book. It's around 200 to 250 pages and it's like a cozy fantasy. I will be talking about that more in a video coming soon, but I ended up really enjoying it a lot more than I was expecting to, considering it is so short. It's about a woman who starts working in this department store that sells dreams. So imagine when you fall asleep before you start dreaming, you go to this in-between place where there are shops that sell dreams. It's about this woman's experience of starting this new job, and it's all about this concept of dreams, and it was a solid 4 stars for most of the book. I was really enjoying it. I was loving the cozy vibes, and then there was a chapter about grief that really hit me and I couldn't stop crying. So yeah, I'm giving it 5 stars. It's probably more like a 4.5, but I really enjoyed it, and there is a sequel which I'm thinking about reading as well. I do have some ambitious reading plans for December. Like I might have mentioned in the intro, I haven't filmed like an official December TBR because I was ill last week. I'm going to try and continue as many series as I can, and I'm also reading books that have been chosen as the Waterstones fantasy and sci-fi books of the month this year. So that was why I read The Delegate Dream Department Store, and I'm also currently reading Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. And that's everything that I needed to catch you up on. I will hopefully check in with you at some point before the weekend. I do have my work Christmas meal this week. I need to double check actually whether that's Wednesday or Thursday, so it's going to be a busy week. However, it's hopefully going to be a festive week. I have been feeling so festive since I went to the Christmas market, and yeah, also watching Wicked last night has put me in a really good mood, so hopefully I will get this vlog back on track, and I will let you know once I have some more reading updates on Make the Season Bright. It is now Wednesday and I have some bad news, I'm afraid. I've decided to DNF Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring-Blake around the 45% mark. I don't know whether to try and read this physically next year, but I was listening to the audiobook yesterday while I was out for a walk and I zoned out for a few minutes and I realised how little I care about this story because I didn't want to have to rewind it to catch up on what I'd missed. I did not like the characters in this. We're following these characters as they're going on these cute little dates. There's basically this holiday matchmaking thing that's happening in this small town, and they were going on these little dates and there was a lot of pettiness. Like both characters at one point considered pretending to date another side character to try and make the other person jealous. That combined with all of their history, just started to grate on me. Brighton was really frustrating because she couldn't seem to understand why her ex Charlotte didn't want to talk to her. Like, she doesn't want to talk to you because you left her at the altar. At the same time though, for the purpose of the book being a romance, I would have wanted Charlotte to be more open to having a discussion. Like, that would have felt more cathartic to me reading this. There was a real lack of communication and the characters just felt so immature the way that they were handling the situation. And it might be realistic. I am sure that there are plenty of people out there who would handle a situation like these characters were. But yeah, within a romance book, I need to root for the characters to get together, and I was not rooting for these characters. So the maximum rating it would have got from me is possibly a 3 stars, but I didn't see the point in wasting my time continuing to listen to it when I could be listening to an audiobook that I'm actually enjoying. So I put it down and I started a new book on my commute today, which I'm enjoying a lot more. I started listening to Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane, and so far this has put a huge smile on my face. I am really enjoying this. It has the feeling of a cozy rom-com, but it also has a lot of depth. So we're following this main character who has generalized anxiety disorder, so that really affects how she approaches dating. She's also demisexual. Near the start of the book, she ends up going for a few drinks with the landlord of the place where she works. They get chatting and they start opening up to each other, and she tells him about how she's struggling financially. She's really worried that she's gonna get kicked out of her apartment, and he tells her that he is in line to inherit $2 million. However, there's a stipulation in the will that says he has to be married to inherit this money. You can probably see where this is going. She agrees to be his fake wife, and he agrees to give her a percentage of the inheritance when it comes through. Now, I do know from the synopsis that she ends up spending the holidays with his family, and she ends up falling for his sister. So I haven't quite got to that part yet, but so far there's been some really funny moments in this, but it also has a lot of heart, you know, and I'm just really enjoying this. So I'm very excited to listen to some more of this tomorrow. I do have my Christmas meal with work tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to check in with you now until Friday or the weekend. But yeah, I'm really glad that I did decide to DNF, make the season bright, because I wasn't enjoying it, and life is too short to read books that are not working for you. So yeah, I will check in with you once I have some more reading updates. Hi everyone, happy Friday. I thought I would quickly check in with you because I have some reading updates. So I finished a book last night, and then I have also made decent progress with Kiss Her Once for Me. So we'll start by talking about the romance because I feel like I don't have as much to say about it. I'm still enjoying it about as much as I was when I first checked in with you. It actually has some similarities with Make the Season Bright, except I like the characters in this a lot more. With Make the Season Bright, it felt like it was trying to be angsty and dramatic for the sake of it, whereas in Kiss Her Once for Me, it feels like these characters have a lot more depth and they have interesting backstories, and there are reasons why they are handling things the way that they are. There's 3 main characters that you need to know about. We have Ellie, who is our main character. This is told in single POV, so we're only getting her perspective. We also have Andrew, who is her fake fiance, and then we have Jack, who is Andrew's sister. Ellie and Jack actually met the year before. They ended up spending this whirlwind night together, and then something happened which we don't know about yet, but Ellie is still kind of hung up about the situation because she really felt this connection with Jack. So you can imagine her surprise when she shows up at Andrew's cabin to spend the holidays with his family and sees Jack. Initially, there's this little bit of tension, but I feel like that has settled down a lot more, and they're now doing like cute holiday things together, and it's just really enjoyable. I'm really liking the flow of the story. It doesn't feel like it's going to be over dramatic just for the sake of being over dramatic. I also really like Andrew. I think he is such, again, an interesting side character. I feel like the side characters in this have been developed well. It has that cozy feeling that I was looking for. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish this over the weekend. Might be a little ambitious, but I was also going to use this for one of the prompts for RomComAthon, which is a readathon that's hosted by Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots. I will leave all the details in the description just in case you would like to find out more, because I feel like this vlog might end up going live before the end of RomComAthon. RomComAthon starts tomorrow and I would like this vlog to go live on Sunday. So yeah, we'll see if I am able to use this book for one of the prompts for RomComAthon. I think I was going to use it for the setting prompt because this takes place in a cozy cabin. The idea behind the readathon is that you build your perfect rom-com by using the several different prompts and you read books to fit different prompts. Moving on though, the book that I finished last night was Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, which I think I mentioned I was reading, but I didn't really talk about it much. This is very off-season because this is more of a gothic novel, and one of my criticisms actually is that I wish it had lent more into horror rather than fantasy. I wouldn't even say that this was a fantasy. It has fantastical elements, but it's set in the modern day. It's set in this small town, and I did really like the setting. I love a sentient house setting, or when a setting feels like a character in itself, and I thought that was done very well. The atmosphere, I think, was the strongest thing about the book. So we're following this main character who lives in this small town, and there is this house in this town that is very mysterious, and she ends up getting a job there as a cleaner. The guardian of Starling House hires her, and it's about our main character, who I think is called Opal. It's about her discovering the secrets of this house and this town. Very vague synopsis, but I feel like there's not really much plot in this. There's also some stuff going on between Opal and her brother. This book had some interesting themes, however it didn't explore any of them in any real depth, so I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I did enjoy reading it. I thought the ending was satisfying and I liked the resolution of the mystery, but yeah, there was some stuff that just didn't quite work for me. I thought the romance was a little overdramatic, and also the main character, her thoughts felt very erratic and all over the place, so I wanted just a little more consistency, but not bad, just not my favourite, and I do think it should have lent more into the gothic horror rather than fantasy. I need to go and grab my lunch because I stuck it in the oven before I started filming, but I will hopefully catch up with you after the weekend when hopefully I will have finished Kiss Her Once for Me. I do have some stuff that I need to get done this weekend where I'll be able to listen to an audiobook, but we will see how it goes.
Alone it's Christmas, but I won't wait till next year to try and fill the distance we've had with decorations in my bag. He's taking it slow, won't work in time. Song is so long for Christmas lights. It can't be a song you sing sometimes. I need you to sing it for your whole life. So let me be your family this Christmas.
So it's almost time to wrap up this reading vlog, but before then I wanted to let you know my final thoughts on Kiss Her Once for Me, because I have now finished this. I literally just finished it. I thought I would film an update while it's still fresh in my memory, but this was the perfect book to listen to while I was doing my cross stitch. I've almost finished my reading tracker cross stitch that I started at the start of this year, so I'm hoping to get that done before Christmas, which means I'm going to have plenty of audiobook listening time while I'm doing that. But yeah, this was so cozy and festive. I need to double check what I gave the other book that I read by Alison Cochrane, which I think is called The Charm Offensive. I read that in January and I can't remember whether I gave it 4 or 5 stars, but if I gave it 4 stars, or even if I gave it 5 stars, I need to give this book 5 stars as well. I feel like I have been very generous recently with giving out 5-star ratings, but this was almost my perfect holiday rom-com. It was quite emotional in places, which I wasn't expecting. The main character, Elle, doesn't have the best relationship with her parents, and her mom in particular only seems to get in touch with her when she needs money. So for Elle, coming into this family that is so warm and welcoming, there were some really heartwarming moments, and it made her realise certain things about her life and what she wants out of her life. Elle is also a graphic designer, and I really liked the way that that was woven into the story. I would be really curious actually, if you've read this book and you read the physical copy, does it include Elle's sketches, like her drawings? Because every so often in the audiobook it would have a title what sounded like one of Elle's drawings, but obviously because I was listening to the audiobook I couldn't see whether it was actually like there. I hope I'm making sense, but if you've read the physical copy, please let me know if there were drawings in it. There is an element within the plot where the characters are lying to each other, which wasn't my favourite. However, I think the way that it was handled in the best way possible, and the characters acted how I would expect them to act based on what we know about about their personalities. They didn't act how I would act in that situation, but I found it believable for them based on how their characters had been developed. I am really happy that I decided to pick this up and I decided to DNF Make the Season Bright. I have had no regrets, by the way, and I don't think I'm ever going to go back to it, because I've been looking at other reviews and I feel like other people who had similar issues to me in the beginning didn't end up liking the book overall. So it is a shame, because I have enjoyed other Ashley Herring Blake books, but I think this one is just not for me. The only other book that I mentioned in the intro to this video was The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling, which I might still try and get to before the end of the year. It's only very short, so I might try and pick this up next weekend maybe, but I am going to wrap up this vlog here, so thank you for watching if you made it this far. I don't know if I'm going to vlog next week. I am going to be taking part in RomComAthon, which I think I've already mentioned, and my TBR for that is basically I'm going to read the prequel in the Throne of Glass series, and the reason I want to read that is because one of the prompts for RomComAthon, actually two of the prompts for RomComAthon, you have to choose character names for the main character and the love interest, and my name is Sam, my partner's name is Sam, and there's a character in The Assassin's Blade called Sam, so I kind of tick off two prompts with one book. So that is the main book that I'm going to be focusing on next week, as well as other books that I'm reading for my Waterstones project. Let me know in the comments if you have a favourite holiday romance, or if you have read any of the books that I've talked about in this video. Otherwise, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me, but otherwise I will see you next time. Bye.